Hi everyone, Joe here. You're listening to University Atlas Episode 0, Kisses from Canada. This is our game setup episode where we discuss our characters, the setting, and the rules of the role-playing game Monster of the Week. Though it's not essential to the story, we encourage you to keep listening as it provides important context for later episodes. As this was one of our first times recording, there are a few minor sound issues in this episode. We did our best to minimize them, and we appreciate your patience as we continue to figure out this whole podcasting thing. Okay, welcome everyone to the first episode of the podcast University Atlas. My name's Joe, and yeah, these are my fellow podcasters / players. We'll go around and introduce ourselves in a minute. But this podcast is been a project we've been trying to get started for probably 6 months now, probably longer actually, since January, February.
The better part of a year.
But yeah, so this podcast is going to be an actual play podcast where we play a role-playing game called Monster of the Week. We'll get more into the details of that game as the episode moves forward. But this episode is going to be our setup episode. It's going to go over, well, the game Monster of the Week itself and some of the moves we're going to be using and our characters. We're going to give character overviews and also take a look at the setting and where this game is going to be taking place. This won't be important to the actual timeline of the podcast, like the actual game, but if you're interested in world building and character building, then keep listening, I guess, but it's not vital, I think, to listening to the rest of the episodes, so let's go around and introduce ourselves. Like I said, my name's Joe. I started this project, but I don't want to take all the credit because we all had to put up with a lot and like patience-wise, and it's been a long journey of this concept, and then actually getting it to take off and getting everyone to where we are now, which is actually sitting down and recording.
Better late than never.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And we all know each other through cosplay, actually. We all cosplay. I've never actually met Iggy in person.
Which is sad.
So
Can
weird.
vouch-
It's
I can
so
vouch
weird
for
to
Iggy.
say.
Iggy is
It's
real.
weird. It just feels
I'm-
like we've known each other for forever.
I know.
I'm Bree's friend from Canada that doesn't exist.
No.
Like, shut up, you guys. Like, I swear he's real.
As soon as the border opens, Iggy, we're coming for you. We're coming for you, and we're going to give you so many
That's
hugs.
a threat.
Okay, thanks. But yes, my name is Iggy, or you can call me Drift as well. I prefer either or. I use he, they pronouns.
Oh, I
and
forgot to say my
yeah.
pronouns. She, her.
Hey guys, I'm Fia. You can call me Fia. I use she, her pronouns, and I've actually never played Monster of the Week before, so this is gonna be really exciting for me.
None of us have.
None of us have. I have, but I feel like I'm the least experienced here because Iggy has his shit together.
Yeah, Iggy does have his shit together. Hey guys, my name is Bree. You can call me Bree or the Elfin Artist, which I'm known as online. Both are cool. My pronouns are they, them, and I also am new to Monster of the Week, as we all learned. We all are. Yeah, I have a lot of energy, and I'm very excited, and let's get it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Kind of. Not really. I didn't super prepare, but I'm ready.
Yep. So this podcast, we're going to try and operate on an every other week schedule for these episodes, but we're also doing kind of something funky with the episodes on the off weeks. I'm going to be recording sort of a radio style podcast episode that we're calling University Atlas Radio. And those episodes will be shorter, probably 20-25 minutes long, and those are on the off weeks from these episodes, which are the live improv Monster of the Week role-playing games.
The main
storyline.
episodes.
Yeah. And so we've kind of got two podcasts going on in one, but hopefully it'll all work out.
I think so.
Yeah, Joe, I believe for University Atlas Radio, I believe those are more sort of world building episodes, right? To sort of flesh out the world that we are going to create, I guess, right?
Yeah, a lot of world building. But yeah, those are the radio episodes, and those will be on off weeks. And probably just me, but I might get some other guests in there in the far future. Get some friends and famous people on.
Oh.
Wait, are we not your friends?
Wait, what?
I'm kidding. I love you.
I love y'all.
Love you, sport.
Champ.
Iggy's kisses from Canada.
Kisses from XOXO.
Kisses from your dad friend up in Canada.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the game itself, Monster of the Week. It's a book by Michael Sands, and it's made by Evil Hat Productions. And I found this game through another podcast, which I'm going to give an unashamed shout out to. Unashamed? I'm a writer. I should know these things. Unashamed.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Shout out to The Adventure Zone Amnesty by the McElroy brothers and their dad.
Yes.
Yeah, the McElroys are the reason I'm into podcasting. I've got their book, Everybody Has a Podcast Except You, which I'm also going to give a plug to, which has launched this podcast. So
it's got a ton of useful resources.
Yeah, I would highly recommend, if you're interested in podcasting, get this book. I chose this role-playing game as opposed to others such as D&D, which is probably the most popular role-playing game. And there are podcasts that use Dungeons and Dragons as a role-playing game, but it's very dice heavy and numbers heavy. And Monster of the Week is more role-playing and improv and I don't want to say character-based, but it's less dice rolling and more creating a story together.
You are correct. Sense. Yeah, Monster of the Week is definitely more character-driven as opposed to, as opposed to game systems like Dungeons and Dragons that are more, I guess, dice-driven.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's not so dice-heavy. You do roll dice, but there's only 2 dice. You roll 2d6 for your rolls. On a 1 through 6, it's considered a failure.
Joe just gets to make a hard move against
us. It means I get to make a hard move. So maybe your attack doesn't go through. Maybe it does go through, but something else goes terribly wrong.
Oh man, that sounds like you're about to make my life living hell.
If you roll a 7 through a 9, it's what's considered a mixed success, which means it works, but something else happens. Or it doesn't work the way you want it to. It's something works, but it also doesn't.
Yeah, there's sort of
consequences.
Yeah, there's consequences, And then on a 10 plus is considered a complete success, and it usually means whatever you want to do goes off without a hitch. What I like about this game is that there is a lot of room for failure, but the failure isn't always a bad thing. It just introduces new, interesting scenarios and hard choices for the players to make.
Yeah. Plus, Monster of the Week as well, I've found, is a good chunk of it is about failing forward as well.
I like that. Failing forward.
Yeah, failing in Monster of the Week does lead to does have its benefits. For one, if you fail a roll, you gain experience, and obviously when you get enough experience, you level up and get cooler stuff.
But yeah, so the players are called hunters. They get to pick a playbook, and those are very similar to classes in D&D. Again, not so many dice rolling stats. It's more of just what are the main stats? I think they've got sharp, cool, tough, weird, and charm. And based on those, you get to make other moves, which are... Hang on, I gotta pull up the right sheet.
I have it here. So for charm, you get to make manipulate someone rolls. For cool, you get to either roll to act under pressure or to help out. For sharp, you get to investigate a mystery or read a bad situation. For tough, you get to kick some ass or protect someone. And for weird, you get to use magic.
Yeah, and those are the main moves that we get to make. Whenever we enter combat, you basically take turns whenever you have something that you want to do. And you say, I'm gonna run up to the monster and I'm gonna use my metal bat and swing it into its face. And I'll say, okay, roll to kick some ass. So you describe the move you're gonna make, and then I have you roll based on that. I am what's called the keeper, which is similar to the DM, GM, the person who runs the game, basically. So I don't have a hunter character. I do not pick a playbook, and I also don't roll any dice.
Ugh, so sad. No shiny rocks.
I know, it's really tragic because I've got some really nice dice sets sitting here in my little treasure chest on my desk, but I don't get to roll them.
No good math rocks for
No
Joe.
good math rocks. So sad.
Every session you'll get to roll them as a treat.
Yeah, we'll let you roll it as
I get one free dice roll as a treat. The actions and the moves that I get to make are based on the roles and actions of the players, the hunters. And so, like we mentioned before, if they fail, I get to take what's called a hard move, which is usually something catastrophic. It could happen immediately. It could happen farther down the road. It's basically just the consequences of your actions. And those are what I get to wield against you guys. And so, yeah, it's a very collaborative storytelling game, which is, I think it's really unique and it's fun. And I'm really, really excited to play it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Me too. I've been so hyped. What?
Hype.
It also means I don't super have to prepare. Well, I have to prepare each episode, obviously. I have to, like, create the monsters and stuff and create a mystery for you guys to solve. But at the same time, I'm planning for and I'm expecting the story and, the situation to change very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is going to be improv and just, like, rolling with the punches. So
Joe doesn't just get to roll out of bed and
yeah, I have to prep
GM
a little bit
session
but
for us.
Roll out of bed, grab some coffee. All right, let's do this.
Let's go. Oh, this is I've got some snacks going on here.
I tried to send them home with snacks.
I still have that bag of Cheetos in my backpack.
Oh,
Don't
excellent!
worry.
I'm so glad. So did Fia go home with the pizza? Then you got the.
Yeah, Fia went home with the
Sorry,
pizza.
is this besides the point?
Yeah,
okay.
we split our wins.
All right, excellent. The loot.
Just for context, so Joe, Fia, and Bree all live in the same area. I am the only one from out of the country.
He's the lone Canadian boy.
I am the lone Canadian.
Kisses from
I'd
Canada.
be there if I could. Kisses from Canada. Kisses from down below.
It's kisses. It's kisses spelt with a C.
Aww.
Well, okay, is this the C at the beginning of the word, or is it replacing the S? Because phonetically, it can replace both.
Can all the S's? Can the K be replaced by the C and the S's?
I already want a sticker of this.
So it's CISSES or CICCEC. Kisses.
Oh.
Fia's onto something.
Just
man.
bad all around. But no, I was
He's
thinking,
like, can we stop?
Yeah, because then it would be kisses from Canada, because then it's got all the C's in there.
Does this mean we can spell Canada with a K?
Yeah, can we spell Canada with a K?
Wait, what? How did we get on to Canada being spelled? Wait, what? Did I blank out for a minute?
Because it's
here's my
kisses from
thinking.
Canada.
Here's my thing.
Okay.
So the kisses is actually the K in the kisses is replaced with a CH to still make that K sound.
Oh, that's terrible.
So it still works.
Oh.
You could also replace it with a Q.
Kisses.
QU.
Ugh. Ew.
Sure.
XQ.
I'm a linguistics student, y'all. I can go on forever.
Surely this is going to be making into the episode.
This is making the cut. This is the first thing you're gonna hear. Who cares about the characters? We got this great conversation going.
Kisses
We
from
do.
Canada.
This is good
I'm gonna
context.
spell it differently every single time,
Thank you.
and I'm gonna send you a
Wonderful.
little DM for my love.
Send me a postcard.
Oh, I will.
Thanks.
Thanks with a Q.
But yes,
Thank
would
you.
we like to talk about harm in Monster of the Week?
Yes, I was
Here
going to
we go.
mention harm.
Transition.
So in D&D, we have hit points. In Monster of the Week, we have harm. Every player, hunter, same thing. You get 7 harm.
Well, some playbooks, such as the Chosen, so for anyone who has listened to the Adventures on Amnesty, some playbooks like the Chosen, where for Duck Newton, characters like him have natural armor. So if they take 2 harm, then their natural armor ignores that harm there. So, but
Yeah.
for other playbooks, not so much.
Yeah, so harm, you get 7. If you get down to 4 harm, you're unstable. And
Yes.
you're dying.
So I'm not just that all the time.
Yeah, so unlike D&D where you can just sort of take a long rest and magically heal all your wounds, with Monster of the Week, you do have to give a narrative reason to go and have your wounds treated. So, yeah, like Joe mentioned, if
go to a hospital.
that's correct, yeah.
Or there's certain magic moves that you can make to heal yourself magically, but there needs, it's not just like you rest and you heal.
So I can't just take a nappy time.
No.
And wake up better.
No, you can't sit down with your appy slices.
My appy slices.
Well, you can't sit down with your appy slices and your high C and...
And so, yeah, the way harm is in this game, I don't want to say it's easy for players to die, but I think it is easier than other role-playing games for hunters to be at serious risk of death. And as the keeper, I'm not going to be actively trying to kill your characters. I really am a fan of your guys' characters. You got some pretty cool characters, and you're my friends, and I'm not going to be trying to kill your characters. Swear.
Thanks, Joe.
Pinky promise.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we do encounter a character death, there's mechanics for revival. It's a move called Big Magic. Big Magic can be complicated, and I think we'll get to that when we get to that. Hopefully we get to do some Big Magic at some point during this game.
Big Magic would be fun to do.
Big Magic would be fun.
Wouldn't that just be called Big Weird?
You would use a weird roll to do Big Magic.
It's Big Weird.
Again, hopefully I'm not going to try and kill your characters, and hopefully none of your characters die. But if that happens, there's options. It won't be like the end of the game.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Sweating bullets over here, but yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
This segues into luck, which is another resource you guys have as hunters. You start off, I think it's 7, and I mentioned to a few of you, I think, that I was thinking about increasing that because I'm not sure how long this podcast or this game is going to go on, and I don't want you guys to run out of luck too soon. I think we're going to keep it at 7 for now, and if you guys run it out really quickly, but we're only halfway through the story, then I think I'd give you guys more. But for now, luck is not a renewable resource. I don't want you guys to think of it as a renewable resource. So you guys have 7 luck. And if it's gone, it's gone. If you fail a roll, you can use luck to make it an automatic 12, which is an automatic success. So, if you're trying to do Big Magic to revive a dead character, maybe use some luck for that. Or you can use luck to completely negate any damage that you get from a single hit. So let's say you're down to 4 hit points or 4 health, and you get whomped for another 3, and you're at 1 hit point and you're basically dying. You can use luck to negate that hit. You only get 7, and the more you use your luck, the more hard I get to go on you. It's like a game function. It's the more luck you use, it's the less armor you have.
So throughout the whole game, we only have
7.
either 7 or 10. You're still workshopping it.
Think of it as you
7.
only have 7.
Okay, 7 lives. 7 lives.
No, that's what I'm saying. Since I'm kind of sort of related to cats, would I get 9? Because 9 lives.
We can talk about that later.
We can talk about that.
We can talk about that. Convince me. That's another thing. As a collaborative game, I'm not going to shut down any ideas that you guys have. I want this to be a very yes and podcast and game experience, and so throw those ideas at me. Basically, if you have an idea, convince me, and we can incorporate it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, should we move on to moves?
Yes, we should move on to move. There's certain moves that y'all can make as hunters.
I can list them off again. So for charm, you would roll to manipulate someone. For cool, you would roll to either act under pressure or help out. For sharp, you would have to you could roll to investigate a mystery or read a bad situation. For tough, you would roll to kick some ass or protect someone. And for weird, you would roll to use magic. Yeah,
and so we can go into a little bit more detail for those. So kick some ass is the move for fighting, and it's you roll plus your tough stat, and you describe an action that you're taking against a monster, and you roll, and based on that, it's effective or ineffective. Acting under pressure is it could be pulling someone to safety. Maybe you're driving a car and something comes swerving at you. It's something where it's not necessarily a kick some ass, you're not fighting anything, but it is a high pressure situation.
High pressure situation, yeah.
Helping out is another move that you can make when another hunter is making a roll, and you can explain a good reason as to how and why your hunter can help out. You can help out on their roll. If you roll a 10 plus, your help grants them +1 to their roll. On a 7 to 9, your help grants them +1 to their roll, but it also exposes you to the trouble or danger. Investigative Mystery is a roll that you make when you're investigating mystery. You roll plus sharp, and on a 10 plus, you get what's called 2 holds, which are questions that you can ask. And on a 7 to 9, you get 1. On a 6, or lower, you don't get any, because it's a failure. And those questions are, what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here? And these questions you get to ask me, the keeper, and I get to answer them to the best of my ability based on what you guys have investigated or the people that you're talking to in the scene. And so I'm not going to withhold information from you, but if, you're talking to someone who was like randomly attacked by a ghost at some point, you ask a question that the person wouldn't know, like, where did it go? And they're like, I don't know, I didn't see, like they could say, like, I saw it leave through this wall. I'm going to answer it based on what they know. So you can't just ask, like, what sort of creature is it? And then I, like, give you all the information on it.
That'd be too easy.
Too easy, yeah. This role helps you solve the mystery, but it's also going to be based on what you investigate and who you talk to. And then manipulate someone is... I feel like the name of this move is a little bit misleading because it's not always a negative thing. It can be convincing someone to, like, run and hide.
Right.
Yeah, like, this is you trying to persuade another, like, either another character or another NPC. It's trying to get them to do something for you.
Basically, roll to seduce.
I guess you could use manipulate someone to roll to seduce an NPC. Yeah.
Hopefully you don't have to actually roll to seduce anyone. Hopefully you just do the seducing. But
do it.
Just do the
seducing. Just do the seducing.
Do it. What's your problem? Just do it.
Just do it. So you roll for manipulate someone. You roll plus charm. On a 10 plus, they'll do it for the reason you gave them. If you asked too much, they'll tell you the minimum it would take for them to do it. On a 7 through 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. And if you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it. And that's really cool because, like I said, the 7 to 9 is a mixed success. So there's, if you're trying to convince them to do something or give you something, it's not that they won't do it, it's just they need something else. They need something else in return for whatever you're asking them for. You can't roll to manipulate the monsters. I believe there's certain playbooks that you can, when you level up, you can get a move that allows you to manipulate monsters that are capable of understanding and, like, reasoning and talking. But for the most part, you can't roll to, like, manipulate one of the monsters you're fighting.
Makes sense.
And then there's a move called Protect Someone, which is rolling plus tough. On a 7 plus, you protect them okay, but you suffer some or all of the harm they were going to get. On a 10 plus, you choose an extra. You suffer little harm, which is -1 harm. All impending danger is now focused on you. You inflict harm on the enemy, or you hold the enemy back. And then Read a Bad Situation is another move. You roll plus sharp. On a 10 plus, you hold 3, and on a 7 to 9, you hold 1. And these holds are the questions: what is my best way in? What is my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What is the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victims? And if you act on these answers, this is really cool, you get a +1 ongoing while the information is relevant. So, if you ask what's the best way to protect the victims, and you learn that best way, and then you act on that, you get a +1 to all your rolls while it's relevant. And that's Read a Bad Situation. And are there any more? I think there are. Use magic.
Use magic.
Yeah, and so when you use magic, it's definitely not like using magic in Dungeons & Dragons. It's not like you have specific spell slots. There's mostly just, like, things you want to do. When you use magic, you say what you're trying to achieve and how you do that spell, and then you roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, the magic works without issues, and you choose your effect. On a 7 through 9, it works imperfectly. Choose your effect and a glitch. I, the keeper, will decide what effect the glitch has. And those effects are inflict harm, +1 harm, ignore armor, enchant a weapon, do one thing that is beyond human limitations, bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature, trap a specific person, minion, or monster, banish a spirit or curse from the person, object, or place it inhabits, summon a monster into the world, communicate with something that you do not share language with, observe another place or time, heal 1 harm from an injury, or cure a disease, or neutralize a poison. And then the glitches I have are the effect is weakened, the effect is of short duration, you take 1 harm, ignore armor, the magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect.
There are other components.
Yeah, I can require like a spell that needs certain materials, or like maybe the spell takes a really long time, but those can come up as we need them. And then big magic is there, but it's a bit complicated.
We'll
but it's
get
big
to
magic.
That.
We'll get
to
it.
that when we get to it. So, yeah, those are the basic moves that all of the players, the hunters, get. But now there are specific moves that the players get in their playbooks, and I think we're going to talk about characters now. And after y'all introduce your characters, I want you to go through your playbooks and just share some of the moves, the special moves that you've picked out. And I guess who wants to go first? I bet this is the part that y'all have been waiting for.
All right, I'll bite.
Oh,
I
shit,
can bite.
oh,
I'll
shit,
save
oh, shit,
Iggy.
oh, shit,
Don't worry.
Oh shit!
Iggy.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, I'm bursting at the seams, but
Oh my god! I'm
All right, Fia,
go
go.
for it.
go
Okay.
for it.
All right. My character is named Zoe Marrow. She is a mundane character, so I'll be playing the class mundane. Really excited about that.
Oh, the mundane is
before I go
such a
into-
good playbook.
I'm really excited. A little bit about Miss Zoe. She uses she, her pronouns. She's an ex-cheerleader. She's 20 years old, and she's a junior year transfer student at John Atlas University after she had to quit the cheerleading team at her old college. She's from Boston. She's got flaming red hair, and she's really, really short. Like I said, she was on the cheerleading team. She was a flyer. She's about 5 foot, but in all honesty, she's probably a little bit shorter. I'm gonna be honest.
5 foot on a good day.
On a good day, she's 5 foot. She's got some sick tattoos. When I say sick, I mean she's got. You'll see. Yeah.
It's just tattoos of people coughing and sneezing.
Yeah, she's got a little ghost on a skateboard right on her ribcage, and a little band-aid on her knee. Some fun tats. They were definitely impulse tats.
Oh, yeah.
Probably while she was drunk.
Was the
honest.
Band-Aid on the knee also a tattoo?
Yes.
It is.
Oh, that's excellent.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So her weapon, she's part of the mundane is that you get to have either like a small multi-tool. So I picked a pocket knife, and I also have a metal baseball bat, and it's got stickers all over it. And then, lucky for all of you, I get to pick a means of transport. So I'm the getaway driver.
You're not going to be getting away very fast.
No, you're not going to be getting away very fast. It's very old. It's rusted. It's a light blue 1963 Ford pickup truck. I'm feeling, it's probably max speed is around 60 miles an hour. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
I had to do sort of a mental calculation with my mind because I keep forgetting you guys use miles and not kilometers.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
so
man.
Oh,
sorry.
kisses from Canada. Kisses from Canada.
From Canada.
For all my non-American folks who don't use the imperial system. Fun name, by the way. That is roughly about 120 kilometers.
That sounds so fast.
All right, so Miss Marrow, she is, I never said what she's studying at college. She's going into physical therapy, so you can find her a lot in the training room with the rest of the athletes. She kind of wants to stick to her element. And one of my favorite parts is that she's got some crisp white sneakers, and when she kicks the back heel, little roller blades pop out. So she's got wheels. She's got wheels.
Yes.
Zoe with the white vans.
With the white vans.
And this
Let's
is
go.
excellent because the mundane playbook is basically, so Monster of the Week is based off of a lot of those TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Supernatural, where like there's this team of hunters that goes out and hunts down a monster each episode. And there's always that character that's just a normal dude. Just a normal person. No powers, nothing. That's the mundane. And the entire playbook is based on, like, if you get captured, you level up. Or, like, you get experience, It's like you run away and you get captured is how you play the mundane, and it's
an extremely
so
fun
good.
playbook.
It's so good.
Okay, I'll go over the moves I picked out.
Go for it.
So I picked out Oops, which I'm very excited about. It's when you stumble across something important, I get to tell the keeper, and I will find something important and useful, although not necessarily related to your immediate problems. Apologies in advance, it's not my fault. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a Daphne moment from Scooby-Doo, so picked that one.
Love that.
I also picked What Could Go Wrong. I felt it would really match Zoe's kind of flaming hair color. Whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets, hold 2. So basically, I just get to go berserk and see how it goes. Because what could go wrong, you know?
Totally.
Holding 2 in this case means you hold 2 extra +1s to any rolls you make in the future.
Yes. Thank you. And then my last move is Don't Worry, I'll go check it out. So I get to go out by myself and check it out, a dangerous situation, and I mark experience from doing this.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I want to mention before we move on, Fia mentioned gear and like the metal baseball bat and the pocket knife and stuff.
Yeah.
In a lot of these playbooks, the gear section is filled with guns and like only guns. And that's something we're trying to avoid with this podcast. It takes place on a college campus, and the only guns that you guys are going to be using are like holy water super soakers. And so for most of you, I've said just ignore the gear section. You're going to get ghost hunting gear. Fia was the exception.
I'm really excited.
As the mundane, she just gets a silver steel baseball bat that she can hit ghosts with. So
I like that.
I can't wait to pick up my sort of regulation proton pack.
And I'm super excited. And I'd like to point out that the inspiration for this baseball bat was hydro flasks. I had a lot of friends back in college with hydro flasks and stickers all over them, and I thought it's like the John Atlas University kind of version of that with all the stickers on the metal baseball bats. So there's lots of girls walking around campus with lots of metal baseball bats. Is that okay? Can I do that, Kiefer?
Is that okay?
Fuck yeah, okay, let's get it.
Okay, yeah, so my character, his name is Theodore Del Rosario, or Teddy for short. So Teddy he's a Filipino immigrant who lives in Whistler, Canada. As for physical descriptions, he's sort of a taller guy, about 6'2", 6'3". He's got tan skin, about medium length, curly, dark brown hair. He's got these really, really dark green eyes to the point where you'd think his eyes were black, but in reality, in the light, they turn this nice dark green. He's a florist. He's 19. And as for his sort of, I guess, major at John Atlas University, he is in the Bachelor of Demonic History program. He's a freshman. He just moved recently to town from Whistler. Mm-hmm. As for the playbook that I've chosen, I have chosen to play the spooky. I've chosen the spooky playbook. Yeah, so I'll give like the little blurb of the spooky here is that I can do things that normal people can't, but there's a price. I haven't paid it in full yet, but the bill is gonna come due soon. It's best I don't tell you anymore. You get too close, you'll get hurt. Yeah, so I won't delve into too much of the backstory right now, but yes, for all intents and purposes, I am playing the spooky playbook, which typically your powers come from an unsavory source. As for the moves I've chosen, the moves I chose were based on the backstory that I have written for Teddy. So the first one I'll go with, I chose the hunches, where when something bad is happening or just about to happen somewhere that I'm not, I get to roll plus sharp, and on a 10+, I know where to go, and I know where to go, and I get there just in time to prevent it, or at least to try to prevent the bad thing from happening. And on a 7 to 9, I get there late. I'm there in time to intervene, but not prevent it altogether. And on a miss, obviously, I just get there to be in trouble myself. So, but yeah, the hunches there I picked because I think I could do a lot of fun stuff with that. I also sort of enjoy having kind of like a spider sense in a way. Yeah, the second move I chose, called Premonitions. So at the start of each mystery, I get to roll plus weird, and on a 10 plus, I get a detailed vision of something bad that is yet to happen. I take +1 forward to prevent it from coming true, and mark experience if I stop it. However, on a 7 and 9, I get clouded images of something bad that is yet to happen, and I also get to mark experience if I stop it. And obviously on a fail, I get a vision of something bad happening to myself, and the keeper actually gets to hold 3 to be spent on one-on-one penalties, as spent for one-on-one penalties on my character, or on the rolls that I get them make. So if I goof up and roll a 6 or lower for a premonition, Joe gets to do some fun things with my character.
Oh boy.
Basically means I get to subtract numbers from his rolls or the rolls he makes in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the premonition move, and I'm really glad you chose it. It's a bit terrifying for me because now I have to like come up with a vision that Teddy sees before the monster even makes an appearance for you guys. And so it's going to be really interesting for me to try and create a plausible vision and then try and steer you guys in a direction to make that vision come to pass. And we can figure it out, and I'm really excited for this one.
I'm very excited
so
too.
cool.
It's, again, for folks who have listened to the Adventures of Amnesty, Duck Newton's character had something very similar for the Chosen class, or for the Chosen playbook.
There wasn't a penalty if he failed. He just got a bad vision.
He just got a bad vision. For me, there's a lot more on the table.
There's a lot more riding on it.
Exactly. And then the last move I chose was Hex. So, to my knowledge, at least, I'm the only magic caster on the party for this podcast. So when I cast a spell with Use Magic, as well as the normal effects that I get to normally pick from a Use Magic roll, I get to pick some additional effects. So the 3 effects that I have three effects that I have available, rather, I get to choose whether or not the target contracts a disease. I get to choose whether the target immediately suffers harm. So -2 harm, ignore armor. Or I get to choose if the target breaks something precious or important to them.
This is a very, very good move.
I'm very excited, yes. Yeah, I'm very excited.
There's
to
some
play
real
Teddy.
whammies.
Yeah.
Ignore armor is a real whammy.
So for Teddy, another thing that I wanted to talk about with Teddy as well is that the spooky gets a very fun sort of mechanic, I suppose would be the right word. Where, as I mentioned, the powers that I have come from an unsavory source, and sometimes I get tempted to do things that I shouldn't. So Joe and I were talking about this, but this mechanic for the spooky playbook is called the dark side. So I sometimes I shouldn't. I'm tempted to do things that I know in my heart and my mind that I shouldn't do, but I don't have any sort of control. Or well, I do have control, but however. These orders could be from whatever granted me my power, or urges that bubble up from my subconscious. And I get to pick 3 tags for my dark side, for the dark side mechanics. So the 3 that I chose to go with were Paranoia, Soulless, and Dark Bargain. So I picked these 3 just based off the character that I wrote. Joe and I were discussing some of the the reasons why I chose these, so I think it'll be very fun. Essentially with this mechanic, the keeper can ask me to do a nasty thing, in accordance with the tags that I've chosen. So, when my powers need me to. If I don't do what's asked, my powers are actually unavailable till the end of the mystery. So it's safer. If Joe asks me to do something pretty early on into the mystery, and I say no, you guys are going to be out a magic user.
Ooh, yikes. Aren't you the only magic user? We'll just be out of magic.
Exactly. But however, if I do perform the task that is asked, then I actually get to mark an experience point. So like, there are definitely the pros and cons. Yeah, and the last very fun part of this mechanic is that as I mark off luck, these requests will get bigger and nastier. So the less luck points I have, the worse the worse just the worst Joe can get with sort of the requests that she has cooked up.
I got a lot of ammo.
Oh yeah, no, I've given Joe 15 pages of ammo that she is free to use.
That's on you. That's
excellent.
Isn't it the consequences of my own actions?
This is excellent.
Yes, that is a little taste of Theodore Del Rosario, or Teddy again. For those of you who know me, listening to this podcast, Teddy's very much a self-insert in a way, in a lot of aspects about the character are self-inserts.
We've been joking about this. We basically all created self-inserts. My narrator for the University Atlas radio episodes are basically just me. But on that note, we should talk about Bree's self-insert character.
Okay. All right. Well, my character's name is Tony Winborn, and they use they, them pronouns. They have wonderfully dirty ash blonde hair. It's kind of floofy, a little bit of a mullet. So it's kind of long, a little shaggy. Love it. So they love the hair on their head, but not their body, because they are a cougar lycanthrope and they're very hairy, but a little self-conscious of it, all right? So they're always I know. Yeah, cougar, like mountain lion kind of cougar. Pacific Northwest. Hey.
So cool.
Hey. So they often
The mullet,
gang. They often dress in like long sleeves, turtlenecks, long pants. Sometimes there's rips in the pants. Lots of earthy colors, greens, dark browns, blacks, stuff like that. They have some claws, little black claws. And their eyes have that beautiful, what is like the cougar, like mountain lion kind of color? It's like kind of greenish blue, like with the fade gold in the middle, kind of. Yeah. What would you call that? It's like amber. It's very gorgeous.
Is it like amber blue?
Sure. Let's call it that.
Okay.
It's very pretty. It's like got gold kind of rim almost, and like the bluish kind of.
Can we have like a cut scene? Can we just have a cut scene where Joe goes, and then Tony's amber blue eyes startle wide?
Sure. It'll be one of the opening scenes when Tony walks into the first cut when we all meet. That's it. Because Tony is very attractive, but they don't know it.
They're pretty, but they don't know it trope.
Exactly. Ooh. Wow. That's them. They're a little awkward. They love using sarcasm, but they are awkward because they were homeschooled like their entire life. They transferred from a private community college to Atlas University. More on that later. But, they do like fashion, but they're not they don't really understand social cues a whole lot yet. So they're very to themselves. They're very, once they get to know you, sarcastic. They like to jive at you.
Okay, so like a cat.
Oh, wow. Funny, that coincidence, huh?
So are they, instead of a lycanthrope, are they a lycanthrope? Are they a lycanthrope?
Are they a like cat
lycanthrope? Yes, exactly. As they are of that kind, they become more cougar-like as it gets closer to a full moon, so it's not like an immediate snap when there's a full moon. It's like a slow transition. However, if their emotions get the better of them, like if there's an extreme like shock or rage or something like that, it'll trigger it. And they hate that, so they try to keep their calm a lot of the time, which, is another reason they're a little bit more quieter sometimes. Yeah. Comes off as a little distant. The two moves that Tony has is Unnatural Appeal. So that would be me rolling weird instead of charm when I manipulate someone. So that's kind of fun. Something Borrowed is my other move. So that is taking a move from a Hunter playbook that's not currently in play.
Oh, that's very fun.
I know.
Very fun. I'm excited to go with that and run with it. And
have you picked out that chaos. Move yet, or not yet?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Okay.
No. Listen,
Coming
I made
soon.
a bunch of notes since I saw you last. That was not one of them.
All right. Right now I want to talk about the setting of this podcast and the story. and where the characters are gonna be. So we're calling it University Atlas. The setting is John Atlas University. It's a fictional college that I have invented. It's set in the Pacific Northwest, which is where most of us are. Does like British Columbia count as Pacific Northwest?
Canada isn't real, so you can say anything.
Yes, British Columbia does. The part of British Columbia that I am in, because it's really the only part of British Columbia that falls in the Pacific Northwest, I believe. Please don't come for me online.
We all live in the Pacific Northwest, and it only really seemed right to base this in the Pacific Northwest. The town and the university are fictional. The town is called Rosimer. The university, like I said, is called John Atlas University. It's a haunted campus. Basically, the premise of this world and this like little corner of the universe that we're going to be exploring in this podcast is it's basically our world, but all those cryptids and stories and supernatural horrors that you've heard about and seen on TV shows, they're all real. Vampires, lycanthropes, like Bree's character, those are all real. We've taken some liberties, like with vampires. Nobody's playing a vampire character. Sad. There's some NPCs
yet.
I've got.
Not yet.
Although, where it's more of like a severe sun allergy and stuff, and so it's not so much like a curse, like, oh my gosh, a vampire, run.
Wow.
It's more of like,
I have that too. I also
know?
have severe sun allergy.
It's not like a Twilight. It's not like a Twilight thing where like, this is the skin of a killer, Bella.
Bella.
the skin of the killer, Bella.
Glisten.
Glistens in the sun.
We're just recreating
This
Twilight.
is the skin of a killer.
And so yeah, we've taken some liberties with some of the creatures from supernatural lore, but for the most part, most of it, it's real. Bigfoot, he's real. Mothman, he's real.
Mothman and I kissed behind the Denny's.
Scandalous.
Iggy, that was you.
That was me.
Do.
The main monster that you guys are going to be fighting in this podcast is ghosts. I'm going to try and avoid using creatures like skinwalkers or wendigos that are part of the cultures of indigenous people here in America and Canada. I just want to, there's lots of reasons as to why we don't need to include those creatures, and there's lots of other monsters that I can create and other inspirations I can find, and so there won't be creatures like that. Ghosts, absolutely. Demons, hell yeah. Bigfoot, he's a nice guy, so you probably won't end up fighting him, but yeah, for the most part, ghost hunting is going to be the main focus of this podcast and the monsters that you guys are going to be fighting. I've sort of created a ghost index. It's not organized enough to share with you guys at the moment, but there's going to be different types of ghosts, different danger ratings, and different weaknesses and like how to fight them and stuff. Mm-hmm. John Atlas University is smallish, big university. It's got like 16,000 students. I'm sort of basing it off of my own college, just because it's what I'm familiar with. For the most part, I want the world building in relation to Rosimer to be collaborative. I want you guys to help me in the creation of this town. For the most part, I think you guys are going to be spending time on campus. I've got a campus map and stuff pulled up and a lot of like professors and classes and stuff like that organized. And so for the most part, you'll be spending time on campus. But as part of like the collaboration of this podcast, and I think it'll help you feel more connected with the setting, is it's a collaborative. So feel free to create landmarks, characters, shops, anything you want really for this.
Okay, I was
this
promised
town.
Vampire frats.
Absolutely, we can do vampire frats. I have no experience with frats, so
neither do I.
Yeah, nope, neither do I.
But yeah, I think you're the only one.
Yeah, I do have some experience from hauling a few of my roommates around back in my college days. I will provide any intel I have on frats to you, Joe.
But yes, vampire frats can absolutely be
now,
a thing.
Joe, just to establish as well, so is the name of the town that John Atlas University is in, is the name of the town Rosemer, or?
It's Rosimer. That's Rosemer.
I just read it how I see it on the page.
Don't worry, we'll forgive you because you're Canadian.
Oh yeah, sorry. We pronounce things a lot. We pronounce things a lot different up here, eh? Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Rosimer is a coastal town. It's on the coast of the Pacific Ocean, and for those of you who are thinking like sandy white beaches and, you know, beautiful weather, think again. It's foggy about 70% of the time in Rosemer, and the beach is rocks. It's rocks and cold,
Pebbles.
nasty water with a whole lot of seaweed and dead jellyfish. It's very scenic and it's very green, but sun doesn't happen a lot. Something I want to address is the cell phones and like technology, modern technology. This is like a modern day setting, you know. I'm hesitant to say it takes place in 2021, like it is when we're recording this, because the pandemic's still going on. And maybe we can just say that in this reality, pandemic didn't happen. I don't think we have to pick a specific year for it to be, but it's modern. They have modern technology. But in terms of cell phones and like quick communication, it makes it almost too easy in a way. So like if someone's across campus, you know, and you encounter a ghost, you can just pick up your phone and like call your friend and be like, hey, bring down the squad of holy water super soakers and let's kill this thing.
Well, you know, walkie-talkies do work.
We're having walkie-talkies.
Can I tell you right now, I don't think Tony has a cell phone anyway, so...
I didn't think Tony would have a cell phone. They don't strike me as a cell phone
Yes, Tony
person.
super does not.
Yeah, another thing I was thinking to like get around this issue of like really quick communication that would be almost like a cheat. I don't want to like handicap you guys, but I think one of the mechanics that I'm implementing for the ghosts and like the demons that you guys are going to be hunting, they're going to be haunting you, is that ghosts have influence over technology. So like the whole flickering lights thing, you know, like locking doors and stuff, but like it applies to cell phones also. So I'm not saying you all can't call each other just like, you know, when you're just chilling on campus, you know? You have phones, you have technology, use it. But when you're in the middle of a haunt, it's not gonna work.
Brings a new definition to the term ghosting someone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what?
But yeah, so that's what we're doing to address the cell phones and like quick communication technology.
I really like that. I think, yeah, because it reminds me of sort of how in Percy Jackson, where they can't really use modern technology because it'll attract, it'll attract unwanted
it's like a
attention
beacon
from the creatures of the mythos.
Another thing I need to talk about that is super important to the plot podcast, basically everything, is what's called Spook. And that stands for Student Paranormal Organized Operations and Knowledge. And that is a on-campus organization of skilled ghost hunters, which is basically going to be you guys. And so the way Spook works is that the students that sign up and pass the initial testing, you get like free housing and like other benefits and stuff. There's these teams, it's like 2 to 4 students. You rotate nights and you basically patrol campus. And if you get a call about a haunting, you go and you address the issue. And so Spook is going to be providing ghost intel, ghost fighting equipment. The organization is going to be the main resource that you guys use. But yeah, and so I want to circle back to characters and talk about your characters' reasons for choosing to sign up for a Spook team. If any, maybe you just thought it would be fun, you know? Our next session, we're going to start the game. We're going to kick off the game and actually start playing, and it's going to be starting off with you all moving to campus on your first day before the quarter starts, and it's the Spook trials. Basically you get put into teams. You don't get to choose your teams, and then you're going to get given a task and you have to go pass it. You have to go figure it out.
Pass it, go prove yourself.
Diminish the ghosts.
Banish.
Yes!
Vanquish.
Vanquish!
Diminish is a very fun word to choose, though. It sounds like you're gonna talk down to the ghost and make it feel better.
Yeah, that's when you like trap it in a jar, you know, and then you carry it around.
Can we trap the ghosts in a jar?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
ghost mechanics, there's silver glass and silver steel. Silver glass is ghost-proof glass.
That
and
sounds dope as
silver
hell.
steel, it's like based on a bunch of like ghost lore from various sources where ghosts are vulnerable to things like silver and iron and salt and lavender, and the way that the ghost hunting and banishing is basically going to work. There's different kinds of ghosts. Some are summoned intentionally and you have to find that link, that whatever it is that's summoning them to the world,
Devious
and
happenings.
destroy it. Some are just, they don't have a link and you just have to get them to manifest with enough of their essence, their being, whatever it is that like makes, I guess it's like phytoplasm. That sounds like a medical term. Ectoplasm, that's what it is.
They're ghost nut.
Iggy, apologize.
I am so sorry for saying ghost nut.
That's the real Slimer.
No.
Anyways, continue.
No one heard that. Okay, we'll just move on.
What did you say?
Nothing. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so you have to get it to manifest almost fully, like as it's like a majority of its manifestation, and then you destroy it by means of like lavender, silver flakes, holy water, stuff like that. And then there's a third type, which is like they're tied to a physical object, but not really in the sense of like they were summoned, as in like they're tied to a piece of their past. It's usually like bodily remains, so like bones or old clothes or like an object that was very dear to them in their living life, and you have to find that and either destroy it completely to sever that link or contain it in something like silver glass so the ghost cannot manifest again.
That's very cool.
Demons are unique, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There's no one way to defeat a demon. It's going to be much more of like finding its weakness or finding what it's after and thwarting them, or we'll get to that when we get to it. Wink, wink.
Wink.
So, what are the reasons that your characters have for joining a spook team? Like, why are they interested in ghost hunting?
I'll bite. This is the second time I've used that term. So, well, as we know, Zoe, was very into athletics. She was on the cheerleading team, and I think part of her just wants to be on a team again, doing something that's adrenaline filled and also a little bit athletic. I'm assuming we're gonna be jumping over some campus places, parkouring a little bit, roughing and toughing it with some ghosts or demons. So Zoe, she's really interested in just kind of getting out there and like getting in touch with the team side of things again and feeling a connection to people she really cares about again. So that's why she's interested in joining Spook.
That's so sweet. She misses being part of a family.
She does want a family.
Aww.
Yeah.
Zoe
Found
is going to be
family
the
trope.
sort of Dom Toretto of our group. Like, I don't got friends. I got family.
Oh my god.
We do love a found family.
We do.
Okay, enough about me. It's embarrassing. Someone else go.
The reason that Teddy wanted to join a spook team. Teddy does have magic powers, so it's in a way it is sort of a way for him to get a hold on those powers. And make them his own, as opposed to a power that he has been sort of neglecting for a good chunk of his life. So yeah, that's one of the reasons he chose to join the spook team. One of the other reasons was because he's new in town. He's literally new in town. He moved from Canada all the way down to Rosemer, and he thought it would be a good way for him to make some friends. I didn't mention this when I was going through Teddy's character stuff, but Teddy's definitely more soft-spoken. He's a little bit shy. He's not one to put himself out there, I would say. And so yeah, he thought if he was forced to interact with two other folks in a team setting, he thinks that might be a good way for him to make friends.
Teddy.
He also did learn about the fact that apparently spook teams also go on demon hunts as well, and so with Teddy's power being the way that it is, he thought it also might be a very good source of information for him.
An ulterior motive.
But yeah, that's Teddy's vibe for joining the spook team.
So Tony also has an ulterior motive, which I'm not sure if I should go into or not, but they mainly play it off as that they need free housing. and I believe there was something in the sign-ups about there being free housing.
It's a campus job. You get all kinds of benefits. Free housing, free meal plan.
Yeah. Little way to build some resume. That's mainly what they say. They do deep down want to, they want to interact with other people. They're trying to get to know some other, being homeschooled and everything most of all of their life. They're trying to get to know people more and like learn how to be more like socially I was saying human, but that doesn't really work.
They're trying to socialize more. They're trying to step out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, their family, they were homeschooled by their family, and their family had a wonderful little flower farm in the mountains called Blessed Stems Summit. And Blessed Stems. And it was actually often haunted, and they want to be able to feel more prepared for those kinds of situations should they need to.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Protect. I don't. Did I say what my major was before?
No, I don't believe
because it's
you
also
have.
the demonic history. So that is another reason Spook was of interest.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. So Teddy and
Yes.
and Tony are actually going to be in the
TNT.
same.
Also, why'd you guys have to pick two names? It sounds so similar. Teddy and Tony.
Flowers,
Come on, y'all.
Majors and TNT.
Yeah, because it's Teddy, Tony, and Zoe.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Oh yeah,
Love
this
it.
is sort of
So
very
great.
similar to Magnus and Merle in.
I'm just gonna have to
Balance.
pick a nickname for some of y'all because the similar sounds is like terrible for my brain.
Well,
Do it.
okay, because my character's actual name is Theodore, so like you
It's
can
true.
call him Theodore or Theo.
What if just to like met like because once they all get closer and whatnot, and Tony kind of lets down maybe some guards a little bit if they're able to, like if that's a thing that Tony is capable of doing.
Oh.
Like
Just in case.
I feel like Tony, just to mess with Teddy, would call him Dory, like Theodore Dory instead of Teddy.
Oh,
I don't know if that would be enjoyed or not by anybody else, but I feel like Tony would think that that's very clever, and if it messes with people's heads, then they'd like it even more.
Iggy the player loves that.
Okay, good.
Very good.
Excellent.
Very
That's all I
good.
needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear.
But yeah, so yeah, I guess Teddy and Tony, we'll be sharing. We'll be in
Yeah.
the same bachelor program, so Bachelor of Demonic History.
Yeah. Represent.
Yeah, I'm the only one. I'm the outlier. Physical therapy. I'll be with all athletes on campus in the training room.
I really love how Zoe chose to go to a school that sort of focuses,
Yeah.
I guess, on the occult and the
Yeah.
paranormal, and chose to major in physiotherapy.
I know.
I'm the mundane, you guys. Like this is my element.
Yeah.
This is truly my element. And the thing is like with physical therapy, it's not just for athletics. I mean, sure, that's what we practice on, but also spook teams. You guys get into a lot of injuries. I will be treating you guys.
Yeah, get
y'all
ready.
gonna get haunted so bad.
Get
You're
ready.
gonna get haunted so bad it's gonna mess up all your bones.
Yeah.
You're gonna need so much physical therapy.
You're gonna have to deal with me as I'm changing too.
It's gonna fuck with y'all, and I'm gonna be there to piece y'all back together. If you need massages, I'll be there. You know, I'll
Are you
pop
good?
a loose socket back into place. You know.
Well, yeah, because I was gonna say for some of
Well,
our
tail-
more, I would say, the cryptid part of our student body, especially for lycanthropes or for vampires, maybe they have a different, they have like bones.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you, especially Joe, about this. I was kind of thinking, like, there's all sorts of different, like, races and classes of cryptid monsters that we've got going to this university, and I feel like you can't, as a PT, you can't learn all of them. So I think as the majors go on and you get, further on in your studies, maybe picking like a certain
over.
class that you really
It narrows down.
that you really specialize in. And so there's different clinics all over the country for different types of monsters and different specializations.
You gotta find your niche,
Yeah, find your niche. And like
college is the
yeah.
perfect time to do
I was
it.
gonna say, like, especially with Tony, you like maybe just being on a spook team with
Hey.
you, kind of
Yeah.
getting to know
Sup.
your lycanthrope or feline self. Possibly
Yep.
Zoe would be
Gonna get to
interested
know
in
that very well.
following that route. specializing in lycanthropes.
Very,
Wow.
very fun. I love that.
And that
Yeah.
brings me to the point, John Atlas University in this world we've created is one of the most haunted campuses in America and probably the world. Which is so, yeah, in this world ghosts and stuff exist and they're not usually such a big problem. Like there are companies and people out there that specialize in ghost
So is
hunting.
that on like a little pamphlet or something? Like, John Atlas University, come here. We're really haunted.
We're super haunted. And so it attracts a lot of people who want to be professional ghost hunters. And because it's so haunted, and it also attracts a lot of students who are vampires and lycanthropes. There's a pretty major part of the student population that is both of those things. And, you know, finding vampire students or like lycanthrope students, it's common, but it's rare enough that to see such a large concentration of students who are vampires or lycanthropes on this campus is unusual. So it's like John Atlas University and Rosamore is known for those two things, being super haunted and also being like super full of vampires and lycanthropes.
Chock-a-block
and just like
full
kind of
of,
a big old messy hub of all kinds of fun things spooky.
I know there is a reason why sort of lycanthropes and vampires can exist in the exist in the area or the town rather. Rosemary, like Joe, can you go into a little more about why that is?
I can, and this is I think Iggy knows this because he read the script I have written out for one of my University Atlas Radio.
2 gold stars.
Yeah, you get
doing
2
all
gold
the
stickers.
assignment.
My University Atlas Radio episode, I've written out a script for a few of them, and he's read the first one, and I go into details about how the fog is one of the reasons why so many vampires, especially because they have such strong sun allergies, can find.
Or their glistening skin.
Oh yes, they're little diamonds, diamond skin. Yeah, it's often quite foggy in Rosemere and on campus, and so it's like a natural sunscreen. And also just the campus in general provides a lot of like resources to students. So vampires have access to night classes. There's blood drives on campus. Yeah. A lot of vampires and lycanthropes suffer from severe insomnia, and so one of the dining halls is open 24/7. So it's literally open all through the night. So you can access that, and
We'll definitely be crashing that.
You know it.
Yeah. After our little spook team, defeat a ghost, I will be going to that 24-hour cafeteria.
Feast.
Y'all are invited, but I'm going.
Yeah.
Zoe's
I'm
going.
100% down with you. I'm a hungry lycanthrope. So,
Very good.
I don't think Teddy would eat, but like he'd definitely vibe.
Just chill. I like that. A good vibe.
yeah. And so the campus in general is just a very welcome place for people who may not feel welcome in other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, on this podcast, we believe in 100% inclusivity.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why we're going to do our best to avoid topics that will make, potential triggers. I'm going to try and avoid topics that would require like a content warning or a trigger warning. But we are going to be, it's a ghost hunting podcast, and there might be demons, and I'm going to try and avoid like gore and like things that could be triggering in that sense. But if that is ever the case, if the episodes ever include that, we will make content warnings and stuff like that, just to, we don't want anyone to feel shocked when they listen to this or have to turn it off because they didn't see something coming. So we're going to do our best to avoid that ever happening, but just in case, we will have
The only
content
shock
warnings.
you should experience are through plot twists and exciting new finds.
And so many laughs. You're going to just be laughing
Oh, yes.
so much.
I think I'm funny, but
If you haven't left yet, I'm worried for you.
We just want this podcast to be a safe place and a fun place for just about anyone to listen and feel at home. Our main goal with this is to have fun, and for me it's a chance to podcasts are a big part of my life, especially during this last couple years of COVID. Podcasts have kept me sane, and this is something I've wanted to do for a while, create one of my own. I like telling stories. I'm a writer. I'm trying to finish a book right now. And, this is just another outlet for me to tell stories and have fun and interact with people. And fun and, yeah. podcasts.
And we're super happy that you asked us to be a part of this, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
glad y'all said
my
yes.
gosh. So
I'm glad we
honored.
found a team that
this is
vibes
me trying
so
to get
well.
more gold stars.
I just,
Iggy,
yeah.
stop
Oh
sucking
my
up.
god. Are you sucking up to the keeper, Iggy?
Come on.
Okay. In all seriousness, Joe. Yes.
In all seriousness, for serious, the first meeting that we all had together, we had never talked like on voice chat before.
I'd never spoken with Iggy. 2 weeks ago, I'd never spoken with Iggy. Like,
I know.
we
Joe had
communicated
never
over
even heard me
text.
talk.
Oh
We
my
all got
God.
on the same call, and we were just instant best friends. And it was like the
Yeah, we
coolest
clicked.
feeling
It
in the
was
world.
really awesome.
Kismet.
It was incredible. And yeah, I'm really, really excited for
best
this. That wraps up most of what I wanted to talk about in this episode. Like I said at the beginning, we're planning on operating on an every other week schedule for the Monster of the Week role-playing episodes, but in the off weeks, I'll be recording University Atlas radio episodes. They're probably going to be like 20, 25 minutes, just world-building banter of me probably just talking to myself. I've got a narrator, Juno Hyde is their name. But yeah. I also want to plug our social medias. Our Twitter for University Atlas Podcast is @TheAtlasCast, the Atlas Cast for our Twitter handle.
All right, you can find me, Fia, on Instagram at fia.cos, phia.cos.
For myself, you can find me on Twitter or on Instagram at drift_cause.
And for Bree, you can find me mainly on Instagram, but my other socials are linked through there. But it is at the Elfin Artist. That is TheElfinArtist. It's very long. Good luck.
And I've got a Twitter. I'm not super active on it currently, but I'd like to be more active on it. That's Joanna E. Griffin, JoAnna E. Griffin, GRIFFIN is my handle. University Atlas Podcast is our YouTube channel as well. We'll be posting those videos up there. Probably the same day that we post them on Spotify. And I'd like to give thanks to my friend Suzanna Jelsema for composing our theme, which you heard at the beginning of this episode, and I'll probably play it again because it's very cool. Suzanna Jelsema, she's an incredible friend of mine and also just an incredible composer. And I also just want to give a huge thanks to the McElroy brothers and also their dad for their podcasts, My Brother and Me, which is I listen to every week and
on repeat constantly.
It's,
God, I can't. They're my sunshine on rainy days. I tell you what.
Yep. I have been re-listening to the Adventure Zone Amnesty in sort of preparation for this podcast, and again,
same.
their podcasts bring me, to quote Griffin, they bring me so much light and love, and they are just very. If for some reason or another you haven't listened to a McElroy podcast, I would suggest doing so because it is definitely some top quality content.
they have so many. There's got to be one that's interesting for you.
A venerable podcast empire they have created.
They do. They have a book called Everybody Has a Podcast Except You. This is a shameless plug to that because it was super helpful. It literally came out the week I decided to do this podcast, and I ordered it immediately. And it's been so helpful. And so if you're thinking about podcasting or you just want to support their family, go buy it.
Yes. Also, big thanks again to creator of Monster of the Week, Michael Sands, and Evil Hat Productions.
Yeah. This is such a great game, and I'm so excited to play it.
It's an amazing game that you've created, Michael.
I would like to make a shout out. Okay, well, this is the biggest shout out. Big thanks to Coffee and Caffeine for keeping me running 24/7.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
65
I've got my
days a year.
coffee.
Hell yeah, just got it, plugged into the
Oh, that makes
IV
such
here,
great
and,
audio, Fia. Such great
Yeah.
audio.
So,
Yeah.
Remember, guys,
So
the
good.
best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. This podcast was sponsored by Folgers Coffee.
We can't legally say that.
no.
That's a lie.
Cut that out.
This podcast was sponsored by Breeze Beans.
Breeze beans. Breeze beans. Oh my god.
No, Breeze Beans. Okay?
Breeze
Listen,
Beans.
I'm gonna, I'm building my brand. Breeze Beans has gotta be in there. I'm gonna start making coffee next.
Oh yeah. I'm really gonna manifest Tony working at a coffee shop called Breeze Beans.
Are we already making a coffee shop AU of the podcast that we haven't even started?
I mean, technically we've already got a flower shop AU, so.
Oh my god.
We can add Breeze Beans as an official shop in Rosemer. We can do that, you
Oh, I
guys.
love
When I
it.
said
Okay.
collaborative, I mean it. All right. Well, in that case, I think that's a wrap on our first episode. Well, it's like a episode 0.
Hype.
Session 0, University Atlas, first episode, I guess. That's a wrap.
Episode 0.
I'm not sure when we're going to post
Right.
this, because now I've got to edit it and figure
You
out
went
all that
through all
fun
this trouble
stuff.
to make this podcast and didn't decide what to name the first episode.
Kisses from Canada. It's called Kisses from Canada.
We're calling it Kisses from Canada. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Do we have a sign off that we can
Do we
say
have
sort of
a
at the end of the
sign-off?
episode?
Oh no, we got to come up with a sign off.
Okay, quick, brainstorm session.
What doesn't kill you just possesses you.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that was
the
your
one.
older,
You
that was your
said that.
tagline
Yeah,
before.
it needs to be that. It needs to be that.
Kisses from Canada.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, should it be Kisses from Canada? Except we're not all from Canada.
I think only Iggy can do the sign off.
Oh, excellent.
Wait, maybe
so
we
I'll
all
have to
say
be able to
sign off,
do
and then at the
sign
very
off.
end, Iggy just throws in Kisses from Canada.
Kisses.
And I'm sending you kisses from Canada.
What doesn't kill you just possesses you. And as always, kisses from Canada.
Let's make it official. Thanks so much for listening to our first episode of University Atlas. As always, what doesn't kill you just possesses you.
And kisses from Canada.
We'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes or sharing this podcast with a friend. We'd really appreciate it, and it's the best way to help us grow. Tweet about us using the hashtag UniversityAtlas or follow us on Twitter at @TheAtlasCast to stay updated on news and new releases. I'd also like to thank Suzanna Jelsema for our incredible theme song, which you're listening to right now. Check out more of her work on our website. There's a link in the episode description. Thanks again for listening to University Atlas. We'll see you next week for episode 1.